What's going on, people? Welcome back to 30 Mins Arsenal with myself and my guy, Harry. What you telling me, bro? You good?
Hello, mate. Hello, mate. Let's go in for the Monaco talk, man. Let's go in. Let's go in for Gabriel Jesus. Let's go in for Eddie Nketiah. Let's have it all, man. Let's have it all.
Say no more. People, make sure you're smashing a like on this video. Subscribe if you're new. But look, you've touched on it there. Gabriel
Yeah.
Jesus. There's big breaking
Oh,
news
my
coming from
Lord.
the Arsenal camp.
Oh, my
Arsenal
Lord.
striker Gabriel
Oh,
Jesus to
my.
miss start of the season after undergoing knee surgery. Arsenal and Brazil striker Gabriel Jesus to miss opening weeks of season after undergoing procedure on knee injury, says manager Mikel Arteta. Problem is
Yeah.
related to injury, which ruled forward out for most of the second half of the season. Big blow, Harry. Big blow, man. What's your thoughts on it, first of all?
Listen, we've flexed during this transfer period, and we've backed every single position with 2 or 3. Even with the keeper, I did not see David Raya coming into the equation. However, the one position that me and you have been banging on about is up front, right? Because Gabriel Jesus, he looked good in preseason. Okay, we've got things sorted. But what happens if he gets injured? This is something that we've been talking on and on and on. And well, it just had to happen, hadn't it? Right before the start of the season, it's probably better. It happens now instead of, let's say, somewhere like October or something like that.
More definitely.
If we can get him back for the Man United game, I'll be good because the fixtures look relatively comfortable up until then. But you don't know, man. This whole team is nearly built on Gabriel Jesus and his link-up play, his presence up there, because he's not a big lad, but you know how he conducts himself up there. He can become a target.
Like a bulldog, ain't he?
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, of course, it was a beautiful kind of way to bring in Eddie Nketiah as the captain for this preseason game. But you know what you have with Eddie Nketiah. You do not know what you have with Balogun. And it looks
It's safe to say Balogun's on his way out now.
Oh
Definitely
my God,
safe
he's
to say
been
that.
totally frozen out.
But you know what? Talking on this Jesus situation, it's starting to become a little bit worrying for me now because, he is an integral part to our team. He's fantastic. Even though with him fit, I would still say we need another striker, and we've been banging on about that both of us for a number of weeks now. It's becoming very concerning because it's the same knee. He's had to undergo surgery. They're saying it's a few weeks, but I have a feeling it could be longer, and they're not trying to panic the Arsenal fan base. And you know what we're like. As soon as he's out, that's it. We're going to be demanding another striker. And the way they're kind of branding the money out, maybe they can't really afford to go out there and go and get a striker in this day and age with how the market is. So I just want to know how our team and how our medical services look after this situation, because Jesus, I wouldn't say he was injury prone before he come to Arsenal. His injury record was quite good at Man City. But since he's come to Arsenal, it seems to be he's injured pretty much all the time. Zinchenko's injured all the time. We've seen with Declan Rice had to miss a preseason game due to injury. I don't know whether it could be fatigue of not playing for a few weeks or whatnot and getting back into training, and it's kind of triggered something. It could maybe be that tackle inside the Barcelona game on Jesus that could have caused the problem. I don't know if you remember or not.
The Araujo tackle, yeah? Fucking hell.
Do you know what I mean? But it is becoming a cause of concern now, because without Jesus in the team, we're definitely lacking. We've seen that today against Monaco. I think it might be a good gesture, giving Eddie Nketiah the captain's armband. But me and you sitting here both know he is no captain of Arsenal Football Club. And that indicates to me he's definitely going to be going in as potentially the main striker during the season, Charity Shield and so on.
Ramsey, but we saw what happened last season, yeah? Eddie came in. It was after the World Cup. He did all right. He did well. He scored that goal against Man United. And yes. I mean, he was all right. But then everything became too predictable, right? And then, we went into this, oh my God, how are we going to be able to score goals? And then Trossard came in to play that position. And you cannot deny the link-up quality, the gap in the quality regarding link-ups between Trossard and Eddie, especially on the left-hand side with Martinelli too. I'm not sure if you've noticed today against the game against Monaco that Eddie, his work rate is decent, but in occasions everything just comes to a halt. Right?
I've
It
noticed it.
stalls, and
I've noticed
Martinelli
it, yeah.
cannot accelerate because of the timing and the quality of the ball that comes through. And there was an occasion when Trossard came, and that something's going to happen with Trossard. The technical capabilities that Trossard has, his crossing abilities, the way he can see the game, the level of intelligence involved, man.
Yeah, you know what? It's we all know, I think, out of pretty much everyone this preseason, Trossard has been the standout for me. I think Arteta's deployed him in a few different positions, out on the left, making him interchange draw into the middle in the false nine. But mainly we've been seeing him in the midfield alongside an Odegaard or a Fabio Vieira. And I think he's excelled. And maybe that could be an option moving forward, playing him alongside Odegaard, maybe having 1-6, because he does come back on and do his defensive duties. And you know what? Now we've got Santi Cazorla in the coaching staff. Maybe he might be looking at Arteta and saying to Arteta during the season, you know what? He's very much like me. He can come in. I can teach him the role of coming back, getting the defensive side of it sorted out and being the attacker. Because Santi Cazorla was brilliant. People might not see his tackling capability and how he used to win the ball back for such a small guy. He was brilliant. And then the transition from defense into attack, Santi was our main guy doing that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, we might have quite a little bit of quality elsewhere, but without Santi Cazorla in that team, it would have been mad. And maybe Trossard could come in and do something like that, because I'm not going to lie. I know I don't want to throw too much shade in Eddie Nketiah. I think 10 out of 10 today in regards to his effort and his passion he was showing. Quality, can't give him nothing more than a 6, 7. Yeah, he got his goal. Fantastic.
I totally understand you. We can't, shade on him at all. But for example, with the goal, a corner from Martinelli, and Eddie finishes off at the back. That level of marking just doesn't exist in the Premiership. It doesn't matter if you're playing Burnley or Man United or Spurs or anything. You're not going to get a guy on the back on post, kipping away and having a nap like that.
Do you know what? Sorry, I was just having a look then, because there's one thing that I definitely want to touch on with you as well, and that's Tomiyasu, because it looked like there has been talks of potentially Tomiyasu leaving Arsenal. And I just want to get your thoughts around that, because obviously, for me, I believe that he's a very versatile player. We've seen him playing at right back again today, and he's big, he's strong, he goes forward. Can there be any sort of truth in Tomiyasu leaving Arsenal? Do you know any kind of information that could help us or anything like that?
Well, the talk on the Japanese media is just of absolute kind of a surprise, like everybody's like, what, and I'm of the same inclination, mate. We're going into the Champions League. We need squad depth times 3 of what we had last year. And what he brings with his versatility, of course, Timber's excellent. Of course, Ben White, superb. But he has to stay, no matter what. He even played centre back against the All Stars the other day in that 5-0 routing. And he's staying. I'm very confident of it. I wouldn't be too worried.
Okay, that's good, man. Because all this Inter Milan news, it's just being causing.
What is this? 20 mil for Tomiyasu? We bought him for like 19.5 or something like that, right? Come on, it's
probably paper talk, or it could be Inter just trying a thing, seeing that we brought Timber in. I thought, you know what, maybe we could pick their pocket, because this is what clubs do, I suppose. But I see Tomiyasu looking very comfortable at Arsenal. I think there's indications of players if they're going to stay or not.
On the personal side, when Japanese people have some sort of regret, they never forget it in their lives. And Tomiyasu was so disappointed with that injury that happened to him in Saliba in the Europa League. Remember that, which knocked him out for the whole season, and he's so convinced he wants to go for a season. It doesn't matter, of course, if playing, for the starting 11 would be ideal, but he wants to go for a season with 0 injuries and pure dedication to the club. There's serious loyalty involved there.
Nah, definitely. I had to get your opinion on the Tomiyasu
Oh, that's cool, man. That's
situation.
cool, man.
Fellow Japanese brother and
Yes,
that, and
of course,
you
mate. Of
got some
course.
inside information. I just want to make sure I
Yeah,
could squeeze it out of you like a sponge. But look, I think safe to say Tomiyasu, in my opinion, he'll be staying at Arsenal. I
yeah.
think if Arteta didn't want him in the squad, or there was potential of him moving to Inter Milan, he wouldn't be involved in the squad today, and he probably wouldn't have been on the bench, just like we've seen
Yes,
with
and he's got
Lokonga
an
and we've seen with
amazing
Balogun.
relationship with Arteta too. So
Mm.
no problems.
One position we have to talk on and touch on. David Raya, goalkeeper, Harry.
Well,
We have not been thinking that a goalkeeper is going to be walking through the door at Arsenal. It's mad. Talk to me, man.
okay, so they're saying, Brentford want 40 million. 100% that's not going to happen. He's only got 1 year left in his contract, right? And Ramsdale, outstanding figure, helped us out how many times? Of course, that every so often there's that mistake in him, but bringing in a keeper of the same caliber and trying to get them to play out number one and number two, and that's very impressive. That's like proper signature of like a really decent club. However, I'm not too sure how Ramsdale's going to take it, and I don't think Raya will want to play in the Carabao Cup too. So we'll see how it
Well,
goes
this
on.
is it now. We've got Champions League as well, so it could be a situation, Harry, where I know sounds crazy. I know it's what I'm going to say sounds crazy, and
Yeah.
it's never really been done before. But is it possible Arteta might be looking at things and thinking, you know what, I might change things up and do something new in the Premier League that maybe other teams haven't done, and alternate my goalkeepers, not on a game-to-game basis, but say, for example, we're playing against a low block team that are defending in their own area. Maybe play a Raya. He's better with his feet. He can start off attacks from defense. He's very good at picking out passes. Start a Raya in the bigger games where it's going to be more tougher and nitty and gritty. Start
Okay.
Ramsdale. Could
Right,
that be a
Premsy,
possibility?
give me your banter about Raya and Ramsdale. Massive comparison between the two, yeah? With the feet, it's probably Raya. What about shot stopping? What about positional play? What about leadership? What about long feeds up front into Gabriel Jesus or Gabriel Martinelli, right over the last defender's head? If you compare the two, the fortes involved, what's your reckoning?
It's one of them. I think since Ramsdale's come into this club, he's been magnificent. I think he's grown in confidence. He's developed a brilliant relationship with the fans, become a fan favorite, more or less.
Totally.
However, I do see Ramsdale becoming very comfortable as our number one. I think he looks across and looks at players like Hein and Runnison and Matt Turner and think, you know what, these ain't the same level as me. If I make a few mistakes here, there, or whatnot, I'm still going to be playing next game. I'm not trying to say he's trying to make mistakes, but there's no added pressure on him. I think with Raya coming in, it will give him the kick up the backside. I don't think Raya will come in to replace him. I honestly don't think that will be. I think we've got plenty of games. I think Arteta now wants to be serious in the FA Cup, Carabao Cup, and Champions League because he's building a squad for that. We're bringing bodies in the door. And if you're bringing bodies in the door, in my opinion, you've got to go out there and try to win every trophy. That's 4 competitions where in 2 competitions, one goalkeeper can play. In the other 2 competitions, another goalkeeper can play. Maybe Raya can play Champions League and Carabao Cup. Ramsdale can play FA Cup and Premier League. You've got rotation there. We've seen in the past as well. Raya was injured as well. I mean, not Raya. Ramsdale was injured as well, where we had to play Hein in goal in one game, and Turner's had a few opportunities in goal. Is not the same level. With Raya, you're replacing quality with quality. I do think his passing ability is much better. I think he's a lot more composed on the ball than Ramsdale.
Yeah.
I would probably say shot stopping wise, maybe Ramsdale makes the fantastic star saves, but you can't really throw Raya under the bus when it comes to saving. His shot stopping is unbelievable as well. And I think he makes less mistakes than Ramsdale. I think of late, especially in pre-season, Ramsdale's been making quite a few mistakes. And put it this way, I was surprised he saved a penalty today. I was surprised you saved a penalty, and that should say it all, really.
How many times have we seen Ramsdale stop a penalty? It's a good question, very good question. I think it helped that the guy who missed the penalty the Japanese player Takumi Minamino, who used to play for Liverpool. Yeah, he's not very good with his penalties, I've got to say. Yeah, and he just smashed it right in the middle.
It's one of them though. They took some good penalties though. I must give it to them. The guy
They
before
did.
him,
They
bro,
did.
he took
Havertz.
some.
What about Havertz and Jorginho with those penalties, man?
Yo, bro, Havertz stepped up in that, bro. I had my eyes closed.
Oh,
I thought, no, he's not gonna score.
mate, we got to try and talk about Fabio Vieira too. Fabio Vieira with that stonker of a goal the other day, and today with the he played the whole 90 minutes, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
when you saw the lineup here, we'll talk about Vieira, but also Rice and Partey playing the same team. Yeah. Did you think it was going to be a 4-2-3-1, or did you think it was going to 4-3-3 standard Arsenal formation?
I thought it was going to be 4-4-3 standard Arsenal formation, but with maybe Rice being a bit more progressive. But it looked like Rice and Partey were both playing that role where when one will go, one will sit. So there was a bit of versatility in that position, I think. But I must say, let's quickly touch on Declan Rice first, because he's coming for 105 million. There's heaps of pressure on his shoulder. And every time he puts that shirt on, people are going to be looking at him like he's the new, do you know what I mean? He's Ronaldinho, obviously not the same position, but that kind of hype around him. He didn't quite do it for me today. And I say it as it is, Harry. Just because he's coming for 105 million, I'm not going to favoritize one player than the other. Honest opinion on Havertz, I don't think he's the guy for us. Declan Rice, I believe that there's some serious quality in there. Watching him for West Ham,
oh, it's going to take a bit of time.
He definitely needs a bedding in period. He definitely needs that. I think we've had the likes of Zinchenko and Jesus and even now Timber coming in, and they're looking really good straight away. I think with Rice, he's got to get a bit of an understanding with Thomas Partey, because he hasn't really played alongside Partey. He needs to get that understanding of him and Odegaard. And that's what I want to see. I don't want to see Havertz coming into this midfield three. I don't think it's going to be strong enough. I think if he's there, we'll get overrun. I didn't like the way we did have Partey and Rice in, and we were getting cut open way too easily. I think that was very surprising. Very surprising. What did you make of Rice's performance?
Well, we saw glimpses of his kind of like England side and his not really his West Ham side.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, there's certainly a bit of a turbulence and kind of like, should I go or should I not? With the whole with his connection with Partey. And I think it's the first time we've seen him kind of do the overlap. But it's kind of like the overlap that he had with Martinelli. Yeah, it's okay, but it didn't look like Arsenal kind of like stuff. Yeah, we will see a lot more from him. We need to kind of incorporate him into the team. I'm just thinking to myself, amongst the players, who's the one who's going to really kind of like, come close with him and talk him into the team and get the best out of him? Because it was Granit Xhaka who managed to do that with every single play. It didn't matter if it was a newly coming Martinelli from Brazil or anybody like that. It's Granit Xhaka really was the gel of the team.
Do you know what, Harry? It's crazy you say that, because in a while, I think we definitely need to touch on Xhaka and what loss we potentially got in the team. But before we do so with Rice, I must say we have to let him have a little bit of time to understand Arteta's system, understand his players, understand it's a total new way of playing football for him. He's used to being very defensive, not on the front foot. Coming to Arsenal, you have to be on the front foot. You have to keep possession. You have to keep looking for progressive passes, not sideward passes. So I think we do got to just hang fire a little bit on Rice, not put so much pressure on his shoulders. I don't let that price tag become a big problem, because we've seen many times before players, look at Harry Maguire, big price tag, decent player, gone to United, pressure's got to him, the fans have got to him, media's got to him, and it's all turned tits up. So we do need to take a little bit of time with him, which I believe Arsenal fans will give him, because he's generally a likable character. And I think he believes in his confidence as well. But losing Granit Xhaka in that midfield, for me, I wasn't too minded if we got rid of him. The reason I say that is because I don't want to be keeping players for excessive amount of times if we can go out there and bring in fresh blood. However, it looks like we are missing him. It does look like we are missing him.
It's the leadership qualities, mate. It's bringing everyone together after each goal scored or conceded. I'm not seeing that kind of like ferocious vibe that we had from at the beginning of last season.
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about the Community Shield,
Yeah.
but going into that first game against them, Nottingham Forest, I'm very keen to see who's obviously the captain's going to be Odegaard, but what's going to happen to the midfield,
Sorry, Harry. I'm just my two cats here are trying to fight and they're making too much noise. I'm trying to get my missus to lock them out, but I do apologise, people. You know what I mean?
No, man,
Not
didn't
messing
hear
around
a
now,
thing.
boys. But yeah, they're too naughty. They are.
Let's
They're
have
just
them on the
literally
show,
messing
mate.
around.
Bring them out,
You know what? I would if they come over here, but they're too busy chasing each other. And now that like one of them is getting to like 2.5 years old, they're always trying to fight with each other, man. So and
the
especially at this
feistiness.
time of night, yeah. I just had him muted as well. I just had him muted
Oh,
because
really?
I didn't
Okay.
want to have him muted. I'll be honest with you. I did. I felt tight chopping the balls off, but
man.
but they said, you know what? If you want to let them out and you're going to start letting them out, you're going to have to do it. Otherwise, they're just going to come back having loads of fights and whatnot. So I just had to do it. I felt snide. I give them loads of dreamies, if you know what that is, to make sure that they like me still. But I thought it would calm him down. It's made him more wild, man. I'm telling you, I'm going to go back to the vet and get a refund on that. You get me? They sold me a fake promise.
Oh, mate.
But look,
bless your lovely cats then. Bless your lovely cats.
man. But look, going back to the Xhaka situation,
yes,
he's definitely lost a bit of leadership in that midfield. And I think because he was so used to being in that position and being in the midfield, and we're so used to seeing him, he shores things up in the sense of not being bullied. When he does get the ball, he is very calm and composed on the ball. Granted, Xhaka, he's not really too rash. And I think maybe Thomas Partey or Declan Rice has to kind of fit themselves into that mold. And what I was saying before with Trossard, I wouldn't even mind seeing an alternate, like basically a change of maybe Partey on the bench or Rice on the bench and Trossard coming into that midfield just to give us a little bit more dynamism there and somebody with quick feet and can play out of tight areas, because I think that's what we need. I think ideally we all want to see Rice, Partey and Odegaard. I think every Arsenal fan wants to see that. But if Rice is taking his time to build himself at Arsenal, maybe we should ease him in slowly rather than just throwing him in the deep end. I don't know where you stand on it. Do you reckon we should ease him in, or do you think the amount of money he's being brought for, we just have to go for it?
I think we should ease him in. We should give him the time, but we should give him the ease on the really his heart and his mind. I don't think with what I saw today, Partey Rice, it's not working as of right now. I think slowly but surely by the United game, we want to see Declan Rice being feisty and going in aggressive, overlapping too. But my main concern is, he's got excellent leadership skills, and I want him to kind of dominate the midfield with his presence, but also start shouting out at other Arsenal players. Because the force that he had in West Ham as a personality was massive. We want that in Arsenal too.
You know what? I think you bang on there. I think we will see that as he gets a bit more comfortable with his players and maybe understands their personalities a little bit more and they understand him. Because obviously sometimes, you might shout at Thomas Partey, someone he might look at you and say, what the fuck are you talking about? I've been here for so many years, like just hold your role in it. So it is going to be interesting to see how that develops. But I need to see something where as an Arsenal fan, know that we're going to be solid in the midfield. Games are won in midfield. And at the moment, we're looking short. We're looking very lackadaisy. I don't know whether it's because it's pre-season and maybe players might not want to get injured, but players really should be putting their all in pre-season, in my opinion, to show the manager, I want to be playing it. I really want to be playing.
Premsy, the goal that we conceded today, have you seen that on replay?
I've not seen it on replay, no, but I've seen it.
Okay, I've kind of like tried to dissect it, right? And their right back, kind of destroys Martinelli and puts a cross in, and the guy in the middle was totally unmarked. And we saw this situation. I think it was it Saliba and Partey who were like looking at each other and was like, "Oh, what's going on, bro?" We saw this last season quite a lot with Thomas Partey, and it could have been Zinchenko, it could have been one of our other centre backs, but like a striker or somebody totally free. There's no excuse for that to happen this season, right? And there are quite a lot of defensive frailties, defensive kind of bits and bobs that are trailing from last season. We just have to cut that out, So if we do concede it, we need somebody kind of shouting down the neck of the player who just went to sleep. And that goal that we conceded today was pretty awful.
It was mad, but this is what I'm saying. Kieran Tierney, for me, he's had an impressive pre-season. He might have not started every game, but the moment he's come on, he's made a real impact. He looks good, whipping in good balls. The assist for Trossard against Barcelona was brilliant. Even today, when he came on, he was making them passes in midfield to Odegaard, getting on the outside. Defensively, he's sound. It's a bit worrying that I know, Timber's come with the team and Arteta wants to probably trial him out in a few different positions to see if he can play that. And now's probably the right time to do that. But when you're seeing your main left back, who is probably the best defender in the team in that position, just not really getting a look in the terms of starting, it starts to become worrying because Zinchenko, he's out for God knows how long. We haven't really had no update on Zinchenko. He's not had no game time in pre-season, so you can't see him being fit and ready for the start of the season. Are we going to be leaving Kieran Tierney on the bench when we play in the Charity Shield and when we play against Forest? Or are we going to be bringing in Timber there? Is Tomiyasu going to play there? Kiviar even going to play there? Because we've seen Kiviar playing there in that position.
Yeah.
Where does this leave Kieran Tierney's confidence?
Oh, he's a tough lad, isn't it? He wants to fight it out. Rumors were that he was going to join Newcastle for around 30 million about a month or two ago. But now that he's decided to stick it out and fight for his place and try to convince Arteta that he can do that, and Zinchenko-esque tucking in. But it looks as though Community Shield and the Nottingham Forest game, I think it's going to be Timbers starting left back because Arteta's all over Timbers because his aggressiveness, his versatility, he's not afraid to get stuck in. His positional play has been excellent, and he's
got pace as well. He's got pace.
Yes, he does. He does have pace. I'm not too sure whether he's got good enough link-up play with Martinelli or whether it's going to be Havertz or Trossard in the left 8. But I just have that feeling he's going to start with Timber.
Bro, I have a feeling Arteta might play Havertz in the striking position. Now Jesus is out. And I'm not going to be happy. I'm telling you now. Mitrovic is there. Please go and sign him.
Mate, the way your voice just kind of disintegrated into minimalism, Oh man, you are depressed with Kai Havertz.
Honestly, Harry, it's not that. Like I said, I want the guy to do well. It's just,
of course,
I don't see anything from him. Yeah, he got a goal at the back post. He scored his penalty today. He got another goal, but other than that, I'm surprised that he actually got a few goals because he's been missing absolutely everything at Chelsea. But I don't see anything from him in the game. I don't see any link-up play. I don't see him really winning headers. I don't see him getting on the overlap or getting himself into attacking positions. I really don't see anything from him, and it really pisses me off that we spent 65 mil on him, man. We need a striker, and he's not the guy.
15 goal involvements for this season, no problems for Kai Havertz. We'll see.
Do you reckon that's what he'll be doing?
Well, fucking well hope so, mate.
Yeah. If he doesn't, that 10 million that you won, you better send it over here because I don't know about that. I honestly don't know. Is looking people Fabio Vieira. We touched on him, but we didn't really elaborate on him. For me, he's not cutting it either. Definitely not cutting it for me. He's got moments of brilliance in him with a shot here and there, but collectively not physically strong enough. Do you know what? He did have a good volley, that Trossard cross, and he volleyed it on his week. I thought that was a good opportunity. Yep. But I don't see anything in his game where if we're coming up against strong, tough opposition like a Real Madrid or a Man City in the Champions League, that he's going to be pulling up any trees. I honestly believe he needs a loan. Am I being too harsh?
No. In an ideal world, he becomes the next Bernardo Silva. But unfortunately, the physical qualities... it's just not there. We see glimpses, but it's his defensive side, and it's kind of imposing of his aspects of himself in the game, positional play too. He just gets the ball nicked too many times, and then I just don't see how Arteta just keeps on playing him. He
He
needs
might
a
be trying to
loan.
play him into some sort of form or something. That's the only thing I can see. Because for me, Emil Smith-Rowe's played a lot better than him when he's come on. He's had a much more of an impact on the team.
I would like to see kind of Fabio Vieira being loaned out maybe to a championship team and get, properly bashed out and in the championship, and then
I was being harsh, Harry. Fucking hell.
Yes, why not, man? A loan to Huddersfield.
If he had his way, you'll send him to fucking Strangeways prison, mate, and get him to bring him back out. That's what Harry's on. But no, I do think a Wolves is perfect for him. I think a Wolves is perfect for him.
Yep.
I think if he goes to a Wolves, that would be a team that would be perfect for him to develop at and potentially grow and maybe go to the gym with Traore and do something, because he definitely needs to put the ball on, man. He 100% needs to put the ball on.
Mate, look, like you saw Eddie a season ago, or 2 seasons ago, he was a bit lanky and then he bulked up, proper, and he got strong on the ball. And what's he been doing in the summer, mate? Good old Fabio. What's he been up to?
I don't know, but if there's anybody watching this that knows anybody that starts jabbing man up, send the information over to Fabio Vieira. Because he needs something in him. I'm telling you, 100%. But people, we have come to the end of the show. 30 minutes Arsenal. Big up yourself, Harry. It's always a pleasure speaking to you, chopping up about the Arsenal. And look, if you're watching this stream, make sure you smash a like on this video and subscribe if you're new. Also, go and check out Harry as well. His link will be in the description. Check him out on Instagram and check myself out as well, Premsy_AFC. Peace and love, and we'll see you next week.
Come on, boys. Come on, Arsenal.